Jimmy Cage?
Jimmy, could you do me a favor and motivate me?
Do what?
Motivate me and my talents. You know I want to be an actor, but right now I feel like a schmuckmeister again. I'll never make it. Please, Jimmy.
Okay, I'm always there for the Buddymeister. I think one of your biggest talents is... Oh no, I'm driving into a tunnel, so maybe the connection is about to...
Jimmy? Schmuckmeister indeed. What's there to praise anyway?
Servus Freunde, my name is Jimmy Cage.
And I'm Deniz, the Buddymeister.
Today's movie was part of one of our Patreon polls a few weeks back, where our patrons could choose between 3 different Malayalam movies. It was actually a tie between Mayanadi and Amen, but only because I myself mistakenly voted as well. Without my vote, Mayanadi would have won, which is why we review it today. But since it looked like a tie between that one and Amen, we will also review Amen in the near future as well.
Mayanadi, which translates to Mystic River, is a Malayalam romantic thriller from 2017 that was directed by Aashiq Abu. It stars Tovino and Aishwarya Lekshmi as Matan and Aparna, who once were a couple and are now growing closer again. But Matan has a dark secret. He's being hunted by the police.
Mayanadi has been compared to Jean-Luc Godard's iconic 1960 crime drama Breathless, the tale of a wandering criminal and his girlfriend. But to be completely honest, it has been way too long since I last saw Breathless.
Me too, no idea. I remember that it's black and white and that Jean-Paul Belmondo is the lead male.
Yeah. The beginning of Mayanadi is quite suspenseful. It shows us how our protagonist John Matthew, or Matan, is barely escaping some kind of shady undercover deal. And now he's on the run for the rest of the movie. And usually the beginning of a movie sets the tone for what's to come.
You should have known better by now.
Yeah, I definitely should have. Because even though Mayanadi has thriller elements, and what it starts, it definitely also finishes, but at its heart, it's a very calm, romantic drama about 2 people in love.
2 people in love who have their fair share of problems to deal with. But let's talk about the beginning a bit more. You already mentioned that it's suspenseful. It has a very distinct atmosphere, kind of gloomy and foggy. I really liked it. And I would be lying if I said that I didn't hope for a full-on thriller, although I of course knew that it's going to be a romantic movie about these 2 broken souls.
To describe them as broken souls might go a little bit too far, but they are definitely struggling with their place in this world. They are flawed people, and I like that. Of course, the obvious reason for Matan being that he has a criminal past and is now hunted. But Apu isn't a happy-go-lucky girl either. Even though her big dream is to become a famous actress and stand in front of the spotlight, she's very much living in the shadows as well.
The shadows of her friend Samira, who has made it big in the movie industry, the shadows of her own ambitions, which come across as a little bit misguided at times, and also just literal shadows, because the majority of the movie is taking place at night.
Or if not, at least in somewhat gloomy lighting. Most of the movie is lit very realistically, meaning just very few really bright moments or stark colors.
Through that it feels very melancholic and grounded. You understand that these 2 are lost and desperately seeking for a way to turn things around. There are a few beautiful scenes that are shot in such a casual way, just a normal conversation, like where Matan can't sleep and his friend drives him around in the car and they just talk naturally, or when Matan and Apu are together and he's making some noodles in the middle of the night.
I like their bond, because no matter how much problems they have, and it's implied very much that they have a deep history, they are still gravitating towards each other. Life is difficult, but they always find back to each other. Even if Apu isn't able to fully trust Matan again, she's still letting him into her life.
Now the thing is, as I said, I really like this natural flow, this organic feel of the movie and how certain scenes are shot and played out. But apart from that, the story, the characters, the romance, I was never really electrified. Mayanadi didn't click with me. I almost didn't care for Matan and Apu.
I think I know what you mean. While I like that both of them are flawed, Apu's behavior sometimes makes it a bit hard to really like her. Some of her decisions felt quite bad, and Mayanadi is maybe trying a bit too hard to be restrained. As you said, there are some really wonderful, sweet and romantic moments, but for the most time everything is so subtle. I needed some more emotion. It's almost a bit lethargic. In the beginning I even thought that all their encounters took place in the past, before the opening of the movie, because I just thought that Matan would act differently, a little bit more stressed or passionate. after he just survived a shootout and a narrow escape.
The pacing is really strange, and the way certain scenes are integrated felt just about unnecessary, like some of the stuff regarding Apu's acting career. It's not done in a very exciting or even interesting way. You could have easily cut something of that and it wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah, for example, this scene right after the interval where the director and agents are talking about the casting for their movie. Neither of our protagonists is involved here and there's basically zero tension. I wonder if this scene is in the movie to give people time to get back to their seats after the break?
Interesting, that might actually be an explanation. Other than that, I also had issues with the way the whole romance between Matan and Apu is told. I've seen a lot of Indian romantic movies by now, and looking at it from that perspective, I have to say that Mayanadi felt rather run-of-the-mill, like they just used the classic template or recipe for romantic storytelling. You know, sentimental music, a montage of the two lovebirds walking at the beach, cooking, laughing, making a fire, and Mayanadi does that about 4 or 5 times.
Yes, I mean, Tovino and Aishwarya have decent chemistry, but it feels repetitive after a while. At least the storyline with the cops picked up pace when they close in on Matan. And I really like Harish Uttaman as this bulked up cop with a conscience.
That didn't really work for me either, to be honest. Although the movie played it serious, the 3 cops somehow appeared kind of absurd and ridiculous, I don't know. And again, how the scenario with the cops is integrated, something's just off with the pacing.
Mayanadi is definitely a movie that's too long. Again, we probably sound like a broken record, but this whole story could have certainly been tightened. Overall, it's a nice movie that once again tries something that's a little bit different, but as a whole, it's too slow and understated for me, and I'm not sure if I will remember much about it as time goes on.
I think what I'll remember most are just specific scenes and probably this lethargic mood, but I'd probably recommend other movies when it comes to romantic thrillers. Mayanadi really wasn't my cup of tea.
Let's talk about the ending for a minute. Time for a spoiler warning. I was kind of surprised that Matan really gets shot in the end. I actually thought that Harish is going to step in or that some Deus Ex Machina situation will come up.
I thought so too. It is a surprise, and it's also quite sinister how the cop wants to break Matan's spirit first by telling him that Aparna led them to him. But Matan's rebuttal is of course also nice. However, it unfortunately had no impact on me.
It affected me for sure, not that I was crying or something, but I felt for Matan.
Sounds like a nice conclusion. So, what would we say in German about Mayanadi?
Mayanadi ist ein solider Romantik-Thriller, der sich vor allem durch eine markante Stimmung und geerdete Charaktere auszeichnet. Gleichzeitig sind es aber auch genau diese Aspekte, die den Film mitunter etwas banal und emotionslos wirken lassen. I give Mayanadi 7 out of 10. It's more like 6.5, but I don't do that.
For me, it's 6 out of 10. It's more like 5.8, but I don't do that either. Did you know that the guy who plays the director in this movie is Lijo Joseph Pellissieri?
I didn't know, but I was pretty sure that it's some famous director. So, what are your thoughts about Mayanadi? Leave a comment and hit me up on Twitter, Instagram and Letterboxd, and also on Patreon, simply at the Jimmy Cage.
And you can hit me up on Twitter at the Buddymeister.
And as always, if you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever you like. And make sure you hit that bell for all we have to tell.